This is Silent Hill Marathon Commentary. It could be for a variety of things. Maybe I'm just doing it for my own reference. Maybe for marathons. Who knows? Anyway, before we begin, we start on easy because it's any percent. And any percent is going to have a weird definition because a lot of people don't really know the different difficulties, but easy is the effective any percent. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for the follow. Go. Start off with like a little cutscene. We're going to be skipping a lot of the cutscenes. We have Harry running here, and some of the cutscenes will be used to our advantage in the early game. Now let me talk about the way timing works in this game. It's on something called in-game time. So Harry Mason walking forward here and stopping, it's going to save me time in that little movement forward because these cutscenes aren't going to apply on time. So if he runs over there, that's him running for free. I'm not moving anything. This is a cutscene. And with a lot of the old school survival horror games, they added in an in-game timer for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure why they decided to, but it was a really cool mechanic that lends itself well to speedrunning. I have a real timer underneath me, which can go lower or higher depending on what console you use. I personally use a PS2, but if you use PSTV, you can probably drop by 10 minutes easily. It's nice. Hey, thanks so much for the raid. It is much appreciated. And get a shout out for that, and let me know how the stream went. Now, in the early game, the trick's actually by Punchy. You run off the sidewalk, and by doing that, you'll go into the alley using the in-game time method. With that, it does a lot for you. You end up saving a bit of time, because normally you'll be going the way. Nice game choice, by the way. Guys, check out LP Soldier. Thank you so much for the raid. Let me know how the stream went, and thank you. If you guys don't know, we're doing marathon commentary. So, I'm going to be focusing on that for a brief moment here. Anyway, at this moment in time, we're chasing Cheryl. The game Silent Hill 1 is designed to search for a little girl. The classic, have you seen a little girl around here? Short, black hair. That's the way it goes. And we're going to be searching for her. As well, we're going to be entering a dark alleyway. The reason why is story-based. It's going to get us killed later, and we want to die as quickly as possible. But while we're moving in here, you kind of see the basis of movement that Silent Hill is going to have, which is tank controls. A lot of you guys, old school horror fans, will enjoy tank controls. You know it, you love it. It's in many old school games. This game is probably the most unique in the design of tank controls, however, though, because what it does is it has Harry move like an actual tank. I want to get grabbed by one guy and usually get stabbed by the other one, but this wasn't too bad. I died a little bit. That was an okay death. Could have been better, but definitely could have been much, much worse. You want to die because that's a dream sequence. Anyway, back to that tank control movement. Harry does not stop on a dime. If he stops, he will move. Like, he will stop, like, with some impact. And you want to be aware of that. Anyway, the little cafe here is designed to kind of get you on the ground moving. They want you to be prepared, so they give you health drinks. I grabbed one because I'm a pleb. However, we need the map, radio, light, and one more thing, the knife. The knife is just to not make sure you're not defenseless, in case you don't want to use the gun. But we have the classic radio.
What's that? Huh, radio. What's going on with that radio?
I wonder what's going on with the radio, guys. What do you think is going on? Now, the reason we got the gun out is actually because a bird comes flying through the window. You could have seen the bird flying in sooner, but he dies anywhere from 4 to 6 shots. Looks like that was a pretty bad one, but not the end of the world. It is RNG based on how he dies.
What's happening to this
And
place?
it's minor time loss, but still, the better you do, it would be nicer. Anyway, you get the radio now, and we don't actually care about it. You just need to progress through the game. If you don't have it, you can't actually proceed, so you need everything I grabbed in that room. We barely use it, but it's nice. Now, the main streets, this is called the 3 keys puzzle. We need 3 keys to open a door. Pretty straightforward. And the 3 keys are located in a police car, on the basketball courts, and in the doghouse. We'll learn more about this coming up, but we just gotta keep moving for now. I could have kind of made my way through that little sign and walkway, but a lot of the movement in this game is going to be just based off of little differences that you can make. Like, that was a bit of a bad turn, but that was a great stop. And these little things are going to be the things you want to pay attention to as I move. The game has improved route-wise since, like, I guess the last incarnation a lot of people remember. There's new tricks in this game, like an out of bounds, which we'll get to later. However, right now, we're mainly going to be running. There we go. As well, I got the first key, but we need a few other things. We also need the key to the house, So you get a key to lead you to the other keys so you can use them. So in total you need 4 keys. It's the 3-key puzzle, but there's actually 4 keys involved, so it's weird. But the way just to find this out is that the map tells you, hey, go to these areas, there's keys involved. And while you're out here, there's also going to be birds, they're called air screamers, and, oh, he bullied me. What they'll do is, if they catch you, they'll lock onto you, and you're supposed to do serpentine motions to escape them. I did not do serpentine motions, so he attacked me, like a jerk. And getting that, it does a little bit of damage, but it's mainly annoying because you stop and you lose that momentum. You do need to build up speed as Harry, because again... Oh, he's going to attack me again? Alright, he's gone. That's generally what you want to do. If he attacks you and misses, normally they fly away, but sometimes they'll keep lurking around. And as I go through these keys, you'll notice I'm dead stopping a little bit before I get to the key, and that's because the item pickups are going to work better that way. Like over here, I'm going to stop, and then it dead stops me, and I don't have to worry about it because I'm already on the key. So even though momentum would have me bump into the mailbox, it works in my advantage because I'm grabbing the key instead. And that's a good example of how momentum in this game works. Now, in addition, I'm going to have to do a little bit more here. I need to actually get a note telling me about the doghouse. Hey, Maxie, thank you so much for the host. It is much appreciated. And I hope you're doing well. Sora, can I get a shout out from Maxie? We're making our way over to the just a note on the ground that tells you go to the doghouse. You can go to the doghouse earlier if you wanted to, but the problem is it'll go, hey, it's a doghouse, but there's no dog. Meanwhile, there's totally dogs outside. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen that image at one point or another. The Silent Hill one that just says, hey, it's a doghouse, but there's no dog. And then there's just the angry dogs chasing you all over. That's what you gotta do. No game. The man with no game. Wow. Here's the note. It says, Doghouse, 11th Street. You're supposed to be able to read the map at this point. If you weren't reading the map, you may have fallen behind. But if you were reading the map, you'd know where all these streets are. I know where they are because if you speedrun the game enough, you know the route. It's pretty straightforward, right? But here we go. And again, I'm doing this kind of stop in front of the doghouse to grab the item, and it's a lot of these things. You'll notice a lot of this movement's going to help me out later, and adjusting your movements will be one of the most important things. As well, what I'm going to try doing is stopping a little bit beforehand. I missed, and I bonked on the door. If you've ever watched a run of this game, you know doors are extremely important. That's because I had enough time, Kia. Doors are very important because if you don't hit the door at the right angle, or you don't stop before a door at the right time, you're not going to get them open. So if you're going at an angle, it works. Hey, Person Suit, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. We're doing a marathon commentary run of Silent Hill 1. There we go. The light mechanics will be very important right now as I'm going to the school, because the dogs and the air screamers will absolutely try attacking me. I don't want them to attack me because it kills momentum and drains health, which both are bad. And as well, I mean, it's just insulting if I get hit. It's a waste of time. However, I also want to be cutting through different areas and moving at diagonals because it will get me to the direction faster. This style of movement is going to be much more beneficial than straight up running and then turning. However, though, I need to keep the light off. Enemies in this game are sensitive to the light, so if you keep the light on, they'll eventually attack you and find you. I mean, I could fight my way through, but there's no point of doing that when I could just, you know, run away. It works much better that way. There's not a lot of fighting in this game, barring boss fights. There's very little I need to kill outside of boss fights. Yes, it's mainly that I'm okay not getting it for now. There we go. Now we're in the school. The school is where a lot of speedrunners in this game tend to struggle. It is definitely the big filter of who you can tell is a great runner and an okay runner at this game. There's a lot that factors in. It's going to be movements. I'm walking to these doors. This is bad. I need to be taking them at angles so I don't do that. And you have the grade children. Now, the problem with the grade children is they're going to try grabbing me. By doing that left and right turn, I'm doing manipulation, which prevents them from grabbing me. As well, I need to avoid them for the most part. I want to make sure I'm careful with my lighting. I want to make sure that I'm moving past them in good areas, because them grabbing you is a big time waste. It might not seem like it initially, but it adds up. Anyway, now we're going to get some acid. And this chemical, sorry, not acid, but it's acid. We're just going to call it acid, but it's a chemical. And what the chemical is going to do is it's going to boil the severed hand alive. Here we go. It boils the hand. We skip the little cutscene. And now I get the Gold Medallion. We need the Gold Medallion because this whole area of the game is based on a medallion puzzle. You need 2 medallions to open the clock tower. Hey, that's me. But the other medallion isn't available until you put the first one in. It requires you to kind of be doing everything. As well, a thing you want to pay attention to is how the gray children are moving. Normally you can go on the right side, however, though, if he's looking to the left, or to the right, if he's looking towards you, you can't juke him that way. So it's going to be a lot of on-the-fly movement you have to be careful of. Anyway, now that the gold medallion is in, the silver medallion keyboard is open, or the piano, I should say, not the keyboard. The keyboard is more electronic, isn't it? As well, I'm going for that movement again because it breaks his ankles. I love breaking the ankles of children everywhere. It is truly what you must do if they're cursed. Because you know we had to do it to them. Anyway, going on to that piano, it's going to be one of the hardest puzzles in the game. I know I struggled on it casually, and most people who play this game struggled on it casually. And the way it's going to work is, you have to push the blank keys in a pattern. It's a puzzle about birds. I know it like this. Maxie gets it. 1, 2, 3. Ah, I messed up. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes you mess up, you go too fast, though, but it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. And also, I'm moving with the analog stick because it's better there, but now we're hitting the first hard child dodge. Alright, we dodged them both. That was really good. I do weird serpentine motions because the children do not understand the power of serpentine motions. But running with the light off, while it is hard to see, I'm avoiding the grabs. This is a very good section, but however, now I need to be careful because the light is on. What I'm going to do now is walk for a bit, turn off the light, and continue running. That's manipulation that allows me to avoid getting grabbed by gray children. As well, now I can throw in the silver medallion. And it's almost open. However, though, we do need to power up the clock tower. Oh, the one grab. That's extremely unfortunate. I almost had it perfect. I barely missed that. See, Zeke understands it. Thank you. Overall, as a school, this would be really good if I didn't get grabbed by that one kid. Like, that's definitely one of the better schools I've ever had. And now that the power is on, we can officially go. Now, if you guys know anything about Silent Hill, you'll know the big pull of it is the idea of transitions. So you have the overworld and the otherworld transitions. We're about to get to the otherworld of this game. Right about now. There we go. Inside. There's 1. 2. Come on, almost there. 1 more. And we're now entering the otherworld. It's a big path. Eventually you get there and you're in the otherworld. It's pretty good. And now it's all rusty and red. It's spooky. It's spooky. And in this area, a big thing to remember is that whenever you're going through doors, it does not quite go through the door and then you start moving after you're loaded in. While it's still fading to black, you have to be a bit careful with your movements. Because the game actually begins a bit sooner than every door loading screen. Excuse me. Oh, that's unfortunate. I barely missed it. That's fine. Let's run around. Thank you. Thank you, game. I don't know why I missed it. So, I'm actually moving before I actually do anything. I'm holding up, I'm holding left. I'm always getting my movement ready for the next room, because that will save you time. A lot of people don't really realize this starting off, so it is good for you. There we go. And now we're going to get the most important weapon of the speedrun, which is going to be the shotgun. The shotgun on this category is very important and will make quick work of most of the enemies and bosses. We do need appropriate ammo for it, but also you get a scare there. I mean, I know I'm talking through it. It's not that scary when you see it a bunch of times, you know? I know it's spooky, but it's not that scary when you keep seeing it again and again and again, you know? Anyway, there's a few routes you can take here. I'm taking a bit of safer routes because the gray children are all around, and I want to avoid the gray children. So by doing that route, I'm avoiding them essentially in that room, albeit I am taking a bit of a less direct path. Now I get one of those puzzles that it makes sense in context of the game, but it's sort of weird when you think about it because we're getting a rubber ball. And what the rubber ball is going to do is it's going to help me out later to get a key that lets me into the boss area. But first, I do need to do a few other things so I can get to that spot. There's a lot of pre-gaming I gotta do, but we're going to do that right now. We're also going to get one of the spookiest jump scares in all of horror gaming, guys. I don't know if you're ready for it. I really don't know if you're ready for this jump scare. Also, shotgun ammo is important to grab. This is one of the grabs we're doing. All the shotgun ammo grabs that we're doing are very just direct on the way. We don't want ammo that's out of the way because that wastes time. Anyway, guys, I'm going to hit you with the scariest jump scare in all of horror gaming. Here it is. You ready? I don't know if you're ready for this. Nothing inside. Oh my god, it's empty. Oh my god, there. Oh my god. That's it. There he is. Dave Fair, though, that slapped back in the 90s. You know, back when you only had PS1s. That was terrifying, man. I remember that as a kid. I was terrified. So, come on. It really is. Anyway, getting back to more avoiding the gray children. You generally know they're around the area because you can hear them. As well, I'm doing that movement where I'm turning beforehand. Also for safety. I'm not going to be safe. Never mind. I already missed it. We also have to go to the roof now. I've not done this yet. But we do need to go to the roof. And going to the roof is going to allow me to utilize the rubber ball. The rubber ball puzzle... Oh, I barely missed it. That's fine. Oh, God. Let me in. Let me in. That's bad. You need to actually investigate that there's a key there. If you don't do that, you never know to use the rubber ball. While I'm using the rubber ball, I'm going to utilize the fact I'm in the menu to actually equip the shotgun. And then we can place it in. And now the puzzle comes to fruition, and we get to drain the valve. We still need to gather the key, which will be soon, but this is how you do the puzzle. Most people tend to forget to look at the hole. People always wonder, what am I doing wrong? What's happening? Why isn't it working? They never look in the hole first, and then you can't use the rubber ball. As well, it's a very big thing to make sure that you switch over to the shotgun right now, because we will be hitting the first boss of the game. The first boss of the game, it is hard if you're doing it casually, but as a speedrun, it's arguably one of the easiest by far. Oh god, I missed, that's fine. And now it's going to be a lot more moving. How's it going, Rofak? Hope you're doing good as well, Scuttlebutt. We're doing marathon commentary right now, as a heads up, so I'll be focusing a little bit on that. 2 more great children dodges. There's 1. Getting the knife swing is actually good, really enough. Yeah, I'm happy this child is trying to stab me, because it means he's not trying to grab me, because grabs lose time. Anyone who's ever speedrun Sound Hole 1 knows grabs are terrible. I'm going to go for a risky strat. I'm just going to go straightforward. The left-right juke is definitely the ideal thing, but if you can get it that way, it's slightly faster. There we go. But again, you're kind of banking on he won't grab you. Now that we're here, we can hit the ending, and there is a puzzle before the boss. The boss puzzle is going to be a series of valves, and I don't know if there's a hint for the answer at all. I always felt like the answer was just hope to God you get it right, which honestly, it still feels that way half the time. It does have a concrete answer, so don't worry, it's not RNG. I just have to type it in correctly, which let's hope to God I can do that. And the valve placement's always really awkward, so we'll see how that goes. Nice, Rofak. Let's keep going down. I think I should be doing as well, that I'm kind of forgetting to every now and again, is walking. Walking, oh, you see it right here, walking in the game gets you a little bit more of a good movements. It's a lot more technical, it's a bit slower, but it's more precise, and the precise movement actually does add up if you can do it right. Anyway, the answer is on the right side, you go left twice, on the left side, you go right once. It has to be in that, pretty much in that general idea. And after that, it's done. I remember when I was a kid, like, I just was stuck on this forever. I eventually got it because it just kept turning. And now we're hitting the first boss, and his name is Splithead. If you're wondering why his name is Splithead, it's because his head splits open. Spooky. Anyway, the fight is going to go like this. I run up to him, and then 1, 2, 3. I back strafe, I pump 3 shots into his skull. I wait for him to open his mouth a little bit to be tempted. Aim again, bump into him once more. Pump 2 more shots into his mouth. Now he's dead. Now, you must understand, if you fire shotgun shells directly into anyone's mouth, they're going to die. Splithead's no different. He's only human. I know he doesn't look human, but he has the same weaknesses as we all do. Anyway, that was the boss. He's dead. You can run around there, but he's pretty much gone. As well, the school is turning back over to the overworld, meaning we can go back to the actual area. We have to make sure you pick up this key, because if you don't pick up the key, you lose the entire game. Like, you will not have a good time in the run if you forget that key. The game will let you continue forward without the key, too. It's pretty cruel. As well, I want to talk about something right now called quick turning. You notice there, Harry just did an immediate 180 turn. The way that works is by holding down the walk button square, and then by pushing L1 and R1, I am actually able to do a quick turn, which is much faster than having to just do the weird turn like this. You don't want to do that. It doesn't really work that well and takes time. Sometimes it's okay. Usually, though, the quick turn will be towards your advantage, especially if someone's directly behind you. Now we're back to a running section through the street. It's mostly straightforward. We're going to be backtracking a little bit. Nice. And then we'll be going towards some new areas, and we'll hit the worst room in the game. For right now, though, it's going to be a lot of blank running back. You'll notice, hey, it's daytime. What happened? And we're also going to be running through the house that we eventually, earlier on, we used the 3 keys on. There we go. As well, bonking on walls like that's a bad thing. You don't want to be doing that too much. As well, my usual problem with this game is that I'll strafe a lot like that. It's like, oh, a lot of strafing. When straight movement is the best thing you want here. Like, just moving straight, targeting your doors, that is how you'll save time in the run. And this area right here as well, I think I'm moving right. I generally want to be, by the time I cross the street, I want to be able to go to the next area. So I was almost right. A little bit more to the left would have been a little bit better, but not bad at all. An air screamer is currently chasing me until he goes away. Go away, friend. Well, I mean, he did go away after slapping me. A true guardian of Silent Hill, isn't he? You know he had to slap me in the back of the head. Luckily, he doesn't do too much damage, because I do need health for later. Some sections in this game are pretty brutal, and I will want that. Right now, as well, we're going to be heading to a church in order to learn about gyromancy, and that's literally the only reason we got to be there. Going back to the plot of the game, we're still looking for a little girl, and we're asking the patrons of Silent Hill. However, some old woman is now going to teach us about gyromancy, and how we need to, I guess, prevent a demon from spawning, or spawning a demon to prevent another demon from spawning. I don't remember the exact thing, but the general idea is gyromancy, and things are foretold. Which you'll hear in a bit here. We're probably going to skip it, though, because cutscenes obviously waste time in a speedrun, so we don't want that. But just imagine Dahlia Gillespie. It just says, it was foretold by gyromancy. You probably all have heard it, you know it, you love it. We're good. In here, though, we get something called the Floros, which we don't need at all for the run. No, we're not watching the cutscene. I already watched the cutscene. And as well, I grabbed a key I need for the drawbridge. That's why you have to go there. You don't actually need the Floros. That gets used later on. You never actually use it. But you do get the key. And that key is going to allow me to lower the drawbridge, which is blocking the path to the hospital. We know we have to go to the hospital because of the note we found, and now we can make our way there. And this next room in the drawbridge is the worst room in the game by far. It has, I think, 5 FPS. Single-digit FPS is not good in any game, and for some reason it exists in a single room in this game, and it's really bad. You will likely be able to see it coming up. Let's go. You can kind of see as well what I talk about when I mean walking, because I'm getting much nicer turns. Here it is, here's the room. Oh god, I can see it moving. It's bad, ain't it? You can see the snow outside falling frame by frame. It's pretty brutal. Anyway, the bridge in the background is now lowered and we can cross it. As well, I'm doing a quick turn here and there we go. You can literally see the frames in that room. It's amazing. Alright, and now we'll be making our way to the hospital. I love the hospital as a level. This is a disc. This is on the original PS2. There's many versions you can play it on, but that definitely varies on how you play, and they have their advantages and disadvantages. But any legal version is speedrun legal, so it's nice. Here we go. Entering the hospital is going to be probably one of the fun sections of this game. I think it is one of my favorites until Nowhere. Nowhere is the final level of the game, and the hospital is going to be similar to that. I mentioned the school was a big proving grounds for a lot of runners. Hey, how's it going? But the hospital is going to be an area that a lot of people tend to mess up because it's a lot of tight movement. While the school rewarded enemy dodges, this area is going to reward tight movements. So the better you move, the better you'll play. And it's mostly going to be that in both the overworld and the otherworld. So we meet this guy called Kaufman. He has a gun, and we ask him not to shoot us. We also ask him, has he seen a little girl around here? Shocker, he has not seen a little girl. I mean, he hasn't. What could I say? But now we need to actually do an optional mission because The fastest way to run the game is something called Bad Plus. In Bad Plus, what happens is you end up saving Sybil. There's a boss fight in this game that you can either kill the boss or save the boss. We're going to be saving that boss. It comes later, but for right now, we need to actually do the supplies to get that. We need to get a plastic bottle. When I was younger, I actually missed this because I was unobservant. But then we need to run into this room as well, and going to these rooms saves more time than having to fight the boss for a variety of reasons. One, you avoid the fight, and then two, you avoid going to the fight. It's really good, and we'll talk more about that later. For right now, just understand we're laying down the groundwork for that skip. Now that we have the basement key and are going down to the basement, we need to turn on the power, but we'll be doing the overworld hospital puzzle. And the whole idea here is that we have a spooky elevator, guys. Spooky elevator. I don't know how much you guys like elevators, but didn't you remember the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror? By the way, sorry, hanging a shout from Mr. DJ Reaver. There we go. Spooky elevator. One. That door doesn't work. Thank you for the follow. Let's try this door. Maybe the third floor? Maybe. Maybe it works. Maybe. Two? No, it didn't work either. Why are these jams? Don't know. Why are these jammed? Hey, the fourth floor. Wait, that wasn't there before, was it? Guys, that's always there, right? Either way, thank you, DJ River. Hope you're having a great day. We're doing marathon commentary, so if you have any questions, do let me know. I'm Ecdycis, do love horror games. Enjoy your stay. Now we're in the cursed other world because you're into the magical fourth floor that does not exist. And now is when the game really picks up in difficulty. The hospital is not an easy section at all. We need to gather a few things here. We have an Alice in Wonderland puzzle coming up, and we need to do a lot of tight movement. So I'm a bit worried, but if you move correctly, you'll be fine. First things first, we're collecting these tablets. We have 4 of them. It's like the turtle, the caterpillar, the girl, the queen. It's all stuff like that. As well, we'll have another puzzle after, but for right now we have that. As well, I'm going to be going into this room to grab, you know, just a standard blood pack. You know, just lying around. This next dodge is a bit tough. Let's see if I get it. The whole idea is you run with the lights off. I got it. I've been missing that all day long. I actually got it for once. Thank God I got that. Running with the light off is mandatory because the nurses will grab me, and I do not want nurses grab me because they waste time. As well, I currently have 2 of the tablets. We will now hit another spooky elevator, but except this time it has actual floors. There we go. I'm going to the first floor because this is going to have the room that I need for some supplies. As well, the second floor won't be good for me. There we go. Thank you, game. There'll be stairs here that'll be more ideal for my situation. As well, like I mentioned, certain rooms I want to walk in because running won't be fast enough for a tight turn like that. Here we go. Nice. Now that I have the tablet, we go up to the second floor over here. And we're going this way because it's going to be a better way. I'm also pretty sure that the door is blocked off on the elevator side anyway, so it'll be fine. Here we go, and we're almost done with the puzzle. We have 2 rooms we got to go into. Here's one. It's pretty straightforward. You go down, and you get a lighter. There's a nurse in here that can... Ooh, way too close for comfort on that one. She tried her best, though. That was almost a hit. Good thing she didn't grab me. This room. 1 step forward. Use the blood pack. It's incredibly generous on the range. There is a blood-sucking demon in this room, and he wants blood. So, moving a single step forward does the puzzle, and I don't know why. Not moving a step wouldn't work. You need to move at least 1 step. Literally just breathing in that room gives you the range. Alright, now that I have all the tablets, the whole idea here is it's a color-based puzzle. But really, it's up left, bottom right, bottom left. And you can just do it like that. And you can see you have the Mad Hatter, you have the Queen, you have all these colors. It's supposed to symbolize Alice in Wonderland. There's a lot of this is your daughter's imagery, and she loved Alice in Wonderland as the story. So a lot of these puzzles and monsters will be based off that. There's a monster in this game entirely based off that, but we'll be skipping that entirely because he's not fun. Anyway, now it is time for this person. Early door. No early door. If you kill her fast enough and run forward, you can actually get an early door there, and it's nice. I tried. Almost had it. Let's keep moving. We have a few more rooms left of the hospital. This has been a very good hospital. Move out of the way, please. Move out of the way, please. Move out of the way, please. Thank you. A little bit longer than I wanted, but not too bad. She please moved out of the way. Sometimes the enemies are not kind. However, though, since the light will be off, they will now become kind. And you'll see this big difference in how you move with light on and light off. It's harder for me to see, but the enemies are much more kind. As well, now I'll be heading down to the basement. Whenever I'm moving in this as well, I want to use the analog stick on my controller. I use D-pad to move for the most part, but the analog stick will be much faster in menuing. I'm not sure why it decided to do it that way, but it's just a weird facet that this game has. Anyway, there's actually a secret door down here, and we'll find the secret rooms of the hospital. It's supposed to be like, oh, they did some terrible things to your quote-unquote daughter. But in this way, in a speedrun, we're just going downstairs, and we're using disinfecting alcohol and some lighter, just some lighter. We throw it there, and we burn the vines. This has been a pretty good hospital for the most part. I didn't really get bought by too many nurses. Getting bought by the nurses is bad. Getting bought by the doctors is worse. I don't know why, but the doctors have the single most powerful non-boss strike in this game. They hit incredibly hard, and I'm not entirely sure why. The nurses also hit hard if you let them, and we do not want to let them. Also, guys, do me a favor and say hello to the most generous hitbox in anything. I'm going to turn all the way left, and it's going to give me the key. I don't know why this hitbox is so generous, but it really is, and I don't ever understand it. But anyway, we got what we needed. We can now leave the hospital, and we will be good. As well, the hospital has one more extremely important, well, two more extremely important things we have to do here. One, I need to leave this room. And we get shotgun ammo. Remember I mentioned all the shotgun ammo I want to be directly on the way? That's a good example. More importantly, too, here's where it gets tricky. Once you finish the hospital, there will be a key. If you do not grab the key, you'll have to run all the way back and grab it. People miss that key sometimes, and it's you hate to see it. You really hate to see it. It's unfortunate when it happens, but it does happen. Ooh, almost got grabbed by the doctor. That's pretty bad. Anyway, now we're officially back in the overworld. We talked with Lisa here. She's chill, but we skip all our cutscenes because they take much time to watch. And just imagine some sad stuff's going to happen eventually.
Was I dreaming?
But for right now, we're back to the overworld, and here is the key we must grab. I mentioned it earlier. We must grab this key. The antique shop key. Now that we have the antique shop key, the game is going to hit the hardest part by far. So some new speed tech that was found last year, and what it alludes to, or what it leads to, is an out-of-bounds boss skip. Thank you so much for that. The boss skip is the hardest in many games I've ever played. It is not easy at all. What it requires is me abusing enemy AI and mechanics in order to slip out of bounds and out of a loading zone. I know it sounds weird now, but I'll fully explain it once you're there. But what this is going to do while I'm running there, you can see how I'm currently running from the hospital to the antique shop. It takes a bit of time. You can see it's running there, and it gets longer when you're in the other world. We'll have to run back in the other world, and there's a boss fight when that happens. However, you guys really want to see me fight a boss that's boring? We'd be fighting a guy called Twin Feeler. He's a caterpillar. I don't want to kill Twin Feeler. He's awesome. He's never done anything to oppress me. Why would I kill Twin Feeler? We're not going to. What we're going to do instead is we're going to glitch past him, so he never actually dies. We're going to skip an entire mall section. If I get it first try, it's about 1.5 minutes of time save. Up to about 6 attempts will save me time. Anything more, I'm losing time. But it is not the easiest trick in the game. Here's how we go. So, the antique shop we play out as normally. We go in here, and we're going to be moving a bookshelf. We're supposed to find a secret room that's supposed to be spooky. Remember, it's spooky. If anyone asks you what Silent Hill is about, what are you going to say? Anyone have an answer to that? I'll give you a hint. It's spooky. Yes. So now we're in the room, and we can keep going. And now we'll be hitting the out-of-bounds skip. So now that we're in the Otherworld antique shop, we'll be leaving. Right when we leave, there's going to be an enemy outside called the Romper, or as I call him, Benny, because he looks like a Benny to me. If you know what that means, props to you. If you don't know what that means, read a book. Specifically, I have no mouth on my screen. But what's going to happen is I want to lure him into the loading screen, and then I want to abuse Benny's mechanic of pouncing on me to slide out of bounds, which we'll see right here. So 1, I lure him forward, and 2, I run back. That was a bit too soon. Benny was a bit too eager there. Let's see if he'll go for it again. Come on, Benny. He didn't go for 2 jumps. That's fine. He was a bit too eager there. There's 1. That's good, and bit too eager once again. This takes a few tries to get. I usually can get it within a few. He is not attacking me. Oh, I may have actually had that one. But you gotta see where the RNG of this game comes from. It's a tad bit of RNG. It normally doesn't take too long. It's not going for it. Depending on how long this takes, you can either have a really good run or a really bad run. It really depends on how much this man wants to cooperate. Oh, that's bad. Almost there. I think 1 more to do it. I'm having good pull, but not much else. Again, we pull him, quick turn, head back. Oh, close. Not quite. So he knocked me out of bounds, but what I want to hear is he pounces on me, my bones crunch, like so, and then the screen goes to black right when my bones crunch. I want my bones crunching here. Bone crunching. Oh, that was a close one. That was really good. 1 more? He's not going to go for it again. Okay, let's try this again. Have we on Dark Navi? Come on. Alright, come on. He is not being nice. No, I have plenty of health right now. We're good. Come on. Nope, almost. Let me run a little bit more forward. Him getting a pounce ain't the end of the world, because usually he'll follow you if it does happen. So I can go like here, and then... Ah, not forward enough. Close, but not quite. Again, it does take a few attempts of this. There we go. It took me just a few tries there, but we did get it. You can tell because when the bone crunching happens, the black screen occurred. Now that that's happened, I am currently running in the void. You can see Harry Mason running in the void. Normally, it's a bit sooner, but I had some bad pulls there. Not the end of the world. Again, estimate times usually accounted for this, so not too bad. Cat's blazing. Normally, I can do it first try. It just sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. I had it first try pretty much earlier. But you want to be running to the roof over here, because this roof allows you to get back into bounds. And you want to get back in bounds, because when you're running here, what I've now done is I have skipped the entire boss fight, and now at the hospital. Not bad. Sweet. And going to the hospital immediately gets you to the next part of the game. In order to activate the next boss, all you need to do is talk to Lisa in the hospital. And I'm currently in the hospital, and I'm currently about to talk to Lisa. You don't have to ever actually fight the Twin Feeler. There's no need to. All you need to do is make it to the hospital. Twin Feeler's normally blocking the hospital entrance, so he's a bit required. Not bad. Come on. But yes, and the out of bounds does have many different methods. It just takes a bit of time to get used to it. It's not overtly difficult, but it is not the easiest trick in the world to learn. It's really rhythm-based, I would say. But anyway, now that that's done, we are now on Float Stinger. He is a giant moth. And the strategy for him is have little delays, but then pump him full of ammo. I usually wait till the purple blood's like officially out of him. 1, 2, 3. You can get anywhere from about 3 shots, normally maybe a little bit more. It's bad. Come on. Alright, he's dead. Really good fight. Bit of a rough out of bounds, but not the end of the world. For the most part here, we're doing pretty good. And now, since I do want to be safe here, what I will be doing is I will be using my health kit, because I'm likely in either the orange or the red. But health's pretty generous in this game, and the sewer is definitely required to have health. It is not an easy section by any means. It does take a bit of time to get used to it, and the mechanic in the sewer is going to be very specific. So like I mentioned, if you're more curious how that out of bounds works, since I have time while I'm running over the sewer, when Benny lands on you, you slide out from under him after he finishes attacking. The exact timing you need is the bone crunching sound. When that happens, you're in the loading zone and you start to slide out. So when you're sliding out, you're in the loading zone and you start to slide out of the loading zone. And it kind of throws your entire chakra off whack, and Harry just keeps running and he could run through walls. And it's impressive. It's a really cool trick. Anyway, now that we're getting to the sewers. To the sewers now. It is not an easy section by any means. These guys, outside the doctors, hit probably the second hardest. We also need a gun to break the lock. Wonder what gun we're going to use. The shotgun. We have enough ammo for it. All the ammo routed in is intentional, and that ammo is going to be nice for me. There we go. Ladder's right there. And now the sewers come. The route is pretty easy. We just need to get out of here. It's mostly just getting keys to escape. It's nothing too crazy. But the problem is we'll have the sewer monsters, the lizards. And these lizards are not going to be kind. They're coming for my gizzard, if you know what I mean. They're going to kill me. So what I want is just clean runs past them, as we'll see here. So one, let's see how I go. Clean run past them, no damage. Run, like, movement like that is good. We want more of that. It mainly applies to the first two guys. Also very good. The way back, we'll have to do the same thing with those two, but that was extremely well done. It is a bit of RNG, unfortunately, but it's nice and normally you can go for it. I wish we could, Zeke. I wish we could, but we cannot. As well, I'm still keeping in the mindset that I want to make sure that I'm stopping before certain doors. You get it, Bird Blair. You understand. You need to make sure that all your movement is very precise. You save time that way. You don't want to be bonking into walls like a pleb. That's when I stopped there. It was a perfect stop, and I didn't have to worry about bumping into the wall with a key. As well, I'm taking this weird diagonal angle, and it works for that door. Alright, now the lizards will try stabbing from above if I take too long. However, I should be fine. On the way back, we'll be encountering two lizards. Let's see how they perform. Usually, these ones are a bit more cruel, but I did heal, so... yeah, I'm eating a hit on that one, not the end of the world. Eating a hit usually means they give you access to passing them. The second one's a bit easier to dodge. The first one's a bit harder. This one, we just go around him, and you're good. It's easier because you have a lot more space to either run forward or run through him. Like, you either run around him or you run through him. Here we go. And now we're hitting the second floor of the sewers. The second floor is going to be a lot of good doors, which let's hope I do well here. There's also a really long tunnel, which will be coming up right now. And the long tunnel goes like this. You run down, and then eventually you run right. It is a long tunnel. Now, what do we have to do for the rest of the game, and where are we headed? We're heading to the resort. We're heading to the boat, and we'll be entering the end game very soon. As well, I'll show a pretty kooky cutscene. It's a fun one. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. A lot of people have, especially if you watch me. But if you don't know Silent Hill 1 is a speedrun, or maybe you're just new to the game, or maybe you just want to watch it again, we'll be doing that cutscene. You know what? If you know what it is, don't spoil it, but it's a good one. And now we're entering Sewers Part 2. So the main door to leave is locked, so we need to get the key to leave the sewers. And the directions for the doors are always going to be in the same spot. The roach actually hit me. That's not very kind. It's right, left, right, I believe. I usually know it more of muscle memory than anything. So I gotta go left this side. Here we go. Actually, I don't think the third one even has a door. I think it's straightforward. Yeah, here we go. Technically, I am correct that you go right, but we're getting the key in this one. And now, guys, another jump scare. Ooh, spooky. Hey, look, the sewer exit key. Oh my god. They came from everywhere. I'm just saying, back in the day, that was gold. It set a trend, man. Like, if you play Five Guys Burgers at Fries at Freddy's, like, if you think Silent Hill 1. This game's... it made it, man. Come on. Look at that visceral jump scare right there. That's where the money's at. It depends. There we go. And we are now going to be officially out of the sewers in one more. This guy can go one of two ways. Usually I go this way, and oh, very kind man. He just entirely ignored me. That's what you want out of those lizards, and you save a lot of time off that. Good movement like that is what you want. While you can bump into the lizards, you're pushing them out of the way. The problem is if you run through them like that and pushing them, they will move, they will budge. But the problem is while they do budge, their attacks aren't going to budge. They'll still attack you. So if they're on cooldown from an attack, you're good. Or if they're attacking in the wrong direction, you can run around them and then move through them, which is ideal. Anyway, we no longer need to worry about the sewer monsters. We're now back in the streets and are heading towards the resort. The resort's going to be a lot of tight movement once again, and we're going to be further going into the other world. And the rest of the game will take place in the other world once I pass the bridge. More rompers will be showing up, also known as Benny, and we want to ignore him. They have ape sounds, and the lore is incredibly messed up about the rompers, so keep that in mind. If anyone knows why I call him Benny, by the way, we'll probably tell you. I give you props. A lot of props off that one. But here we are, into the other world. So what do we need to know about the other world? In the other world, we are going to be spooky. I did, but does anyone remember that? I want to run the light off, and we're going to be just running down until we hit the section of the boat. There's a dock. I know more in muscle memory at this point, but obviously you can use your eyes. But the problem by using your eyes is Benny will chase you. So keep running. And running, and we're almost to the end of this. After this one, I make a left turn. By doing that, I'll end up at the boat. Once we're at the end of this. Here we go. And as well, there's going to be like a dog who comes out, but that dog is the kindest dog I've ever had to worry about. I don't know why, but he's a very kind dog. I'm not overtly worried about him. Even if he shows up, he usually just jumps out of the way. Oh, we didn't get the kind dog. I'm so sad. We did not get the kind dog, guys. I let you down. We do have the mean air screamer, but not the kind dog. Now that we're in the boat, we will be hitting the lighthouse area. And the lighthouse is a pretty fun section to move in. I know it's one of my favorites story-wise. And the reason why is it really utilizes the fact that you should walk while running. So while I am going to be running a lot of these areas, the tight turns are going to be mandatory here. You see, there's going to be a lot of turns and a lot of lights. This is arguably one of the biggest tests in terms of enemy management and movement. You have a couple of bennies up there. You got an air screamer coming up. I want to avoid him with the lights. He's not going to hit me. I make an immediate bank of left, then bank of right. And while I am avoiding a lot here, I also want to be avoiding walls and pipes. I want to be avoiding everything while at the same time getting good movement. Even with good movement, though, there's going to be little things that if, like that, for example, like I did get the good movement, I'm not getting a good turn. So by doing the walk, I get better angles in just that turn. Quick turning wouldn't work there because that just is 180. I need small turns, which work for me. As well, I can't run immediately on the left because there's going to be barrels in the way. I think it's actually a pretty well done section in terms of gameplay because there's just so much blocking you. As well, now we're entering the lighthouse. If you thought the movement was over, no, it's just beginning. You need to run up the lighthouse, go to the top, encounter your demons. Walking is going to be your friend because I don't want to be running against the wall the entire time. It is fast to run, but I don't want to be running against the wall the entire time. You do save time if you run more, but you save more time if you balance running and walking. So usually I do a few steps and then I'll start walking. So for example here, walk. As well, if you walk too much, you'll pop a U-turn and it's really hard to recover off that. One more, and nice. And that was the lighthouse. We'll be going back to the boat, and then we'll be going towards Sybil. Now, I mentioned earlier, there's a really cool skip involving Sybil. It's a speedrun skip, and it's incredibly fun. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. Again, if you have, please don't spoil it. If you have not, I think I'll be very excited to see what happens. Which we'll see in a brief moment here. It is probably the greatest speedrun to exist in any game. As well, this glitch, when you see it, you'll definitely weird it out. But it has existed in all the game's history. I've done actually a lot of research in Silent Hill 1 speedrunning history. From the dawn of time for Silent Hill 1 speedrunning, this glitch has existed. We don't know who found it. I imagine just Konami devs probably put it in there and never actually cared. But it's a weird mechanic with the red liquid that isn't really patched. I think one version patched it out, only a single one. Most versions of this game do not have it patched out, and it's very good that that's the case. Back into the sewers for a brief moment here. It's not going to be too bad. It's mostly straightforward running. Nothing is going to be rough here. And there are some enemies, but they're incredibly easy to dodge. You just keep running forward, and you'll dodge them. As well, you don't need to make any crazy turns. You run forward. See? You run forward, I turn the camera, start going to my right because the first tunnel is going to be on the right side. You always going to be on the way to the tunnel. Sure, that guy's going to try jump scaring me, but I'm not walking. They're a lot deadlier if you're trying to walk. As well, we do get an RNG enemy. It's always either Lizard or Mole Man. Lizard or Mole Man. Let's see who I get. Where's he going to be as well? There we got Mole Man. Hi, Mole Man. Mole Man is cool. You don't really get to see Mole Man a lot in the speedrun, but I like Mole Man. And we got Lizard. We got both of them. We got Lizard and Mole Man. Now, guys, high movement tech. Sound happens. You go on the right side. You go on the left side. You go way on the right side. And then you go on the crazy path to the ladder. So the way this is going to work now, don't blink. I am going to run straight forward and run into a shadow baby. What the shadow baby is going to do is it's going to allow me to abuse game mechanics and skip the entire boss fight coming up. So, here we go. Walking shadow. Oh, do I have it? I do get it. Thank God I got it. Okay, enjoy. I got it. Shadow baby activated. Red liquid on. Enjoy.
Sybil,
Wake up.
wake up.
Snap out of it. Sybil.
Sybil.
Harry.
It is the greatest glitch ever made.
What
Harry goes insane, and you beat the entire Sybil boss fight by doing that.
Shh. Don't talk. I'll take care of you.
You have to wonder, can he really take care of her when he's springing all across the map? Anyway, the way that it works, and I can describe it, by using the red liquid on the Shadow Baby, they never intended you to do that. So they programmed it in that if you just use the red liquid, you win the boss fight. So by doing it on the Shadow Baby, it works, and you beat the boss. It counts as Sybil. But it glitches out because it keeps the model of the Shadow Baby.
Harry.
So all you have to do is that, and you win the fight. And you skip running to Sybil, you skip fighting Sybil, it immediately ends, and Harry just goes insane, which I think is the greatest glitch of all time. Anyway, now we're in Nowhere, and Nowhere is a series of puzzles and callbacks to earlier areas of the game. You'll notice every map to some degree is going to be in this level. The main build is going to be the hospital, though. As well, I want to make sure I'm moving and not forgetting any items. Earlier, I forgot an item, and it was pretty bad. There's 2 items in this table. There we go. 1, 2. Good. We got both of them. That was okay. And we want the pliers immediately. There's a bit of an order in the way you want to run these in. The order I'm taking is the most optimal because certain items are required to get certain keys. Like, for example, you can go in the room I'm going into, but the problem is you can't actually do anything until, you know, you have the pliers. Because there's a key stuck in here, you need the pliers to get it out. So it makes sense. There we go. We get the key. All these keys have fancy names too. We don't have to worry too much about them. They go to certain doors. The doors have names, and you just have to pay attention to that. Like, this is Ophiel. And now we have 2 puzzles in here. One is right here, and this puzzle, it's basically the amount of limbs each creature has. Limbs, so arms and legs. So this is 8. Those are 2 kids, and then the last one is 4. The way you're supposed to figure this out is that there's a bunch of puzzle answers on the wall, and then this pops out, and you're all good. You can type in let go of that. You can type in any number you want, but typing in the wrong number doesn't work for you, and there's no indication what you typed in was right or wrong. As well, this puzzle's coming up. The answer's alert. That's all it is. The answer's just alert. There we go. Good typing. And again, whenever I have that style of movement with the cursor, I want to be using my control stick. It'll move a lot faster, as you can see. Now, the whole goal of Nowhere is to open up a special door and need special symbols. And those symbols are going to be scattered around. They have fancy names like Ouroboros, Resident Evil 5, before Resident Evil 5. But we'll get to those as we come. Also, sad cutscene we're not gonna watch. There's sad music. Just imagine something bad happened. It did. Right now, there is safety health here. I don't think I'm going to take it because I got a good feeling about everything. Hey, how's it going? You know what? I'll take it. I will take it. The run likely is not going to PB because they out of bounds, but it can be a decent run. So I'm going to take it. Again, the actual timing does not matter. It's all based on in-game time. And turn around. And let's use this. Now I won't officially die. It is entirely possible I can grab it later on. It just, I mean, the health kit's there. I may as well play it safe, right? So now we're going into an elevator once again. This elevator has a couple floors. We go 3, then 2. So on the 3rd floor, there's 2 puzzles. you discover one of them, and the answer is going to be dots. It's like a triangle, an arrow, and then a strange symbol. I call it 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. It doesn't actually have it. It's usually just a thing that in patterns you eventually learn how to do. We have the birdcage key, because that's going to open a birdcage on the first floor. However, though, while I'm down there, what I want to be doing is going back on the second floor. Because what this is going to let me do is go to a very different area of the game that I need to get more items in. Also, you need to make sure you do this. You need to kill that nurse. It is vital that you do that. If you do not kill the nurse, she'll body block you till the end of time. There we go. Run over there. Good. And nice. Exactly. And now that we got all the items, we get to start using some of the items. We've done a lot of gathering keys to open doors, and now I'll be able to use some of the items. Yeah, we're gathering a lot of items here. Birdcage key. Get that key, and now we're getting to the final hallway of the game. The final hallway, really enough, you don't go there, you go there before the ending of the game. Also, time for the one puzzle of the game that's the absolute cruelest. Most puzzles in this game are very kind to you. This is not one of those puzzles for whatever reason, and I don't quite know why. If you grab the dagger and try leaving the room before interacting with that chain, you'll die to this puzzle. If you use the ring, you live. If you don't, it's an immediate death, and there's no, like, repercussions. Like, there's nothing that you, like... I think the sign was that the room is moving. Like, that thing is moving, and you shouldn't mess with it. Anyway, jelly beans. This is how I open jelly beans whenever I go to the grocery store. I have a pack of Skittles. I just rip it open like an animal. Get all over the floor. Eat them off the ground. That's how you eat jelly beans, right? Couple rooms. This room is awkward because of all the writing on the wall. The entire wall has text, so you don't want to click anywhere because that's going to mess you up. And now we need to make sure the power is off. Normally we've been turning the power on, however though there is one more key I need, and I will need the power off. If I have it on, the key will be electrified and you cannot grab it because you'll die, which I don't think I want to die in the speedrun. Anyway, I'm going to try manipulating the shadow babies. I almost had it. I did get grabbed at the very least. I did get slapped but not grabbed. A slap is okay, a grab is bad. And now, screwdriver. And that is going to open this up. And there is the key. As well, light off, and we're going to do some crazy serpentine motions here. I find crazy serpentine motions tend to confuse children, so you can just absolutely juke them every time. It works here too. By doing that serpentine motion, it seems to work, and I don't know why. I really wish I could explain it, but it works for me, and it's nice. It avoids me getting grabbed by children, so that's really all I ever wanted. Anyway, time for this room again with the awkward hitbox and the Disc of Ouroboros this time. With all the items, we can now make it on to the finale. The finale is going to be a boss fight, and the boss fight is not the easiest in the world. If you do not do it right, it is very hard. If you do it right, incredibly easy. Exactly. As well, I'm timing these very well, so I'm pushing twice, pushing once, and then I'm going back to inventory. Like I mentioned, the shotgun's going to be an imperative tool for the entire run, and that includes the final boss. On the final boss, the shotgun's going to assist me greatly here, which we'll see in a moment, and the way that's going to get done is right now, I'm going to bump into the bubble twice, 1, 2, 3, and then wait for lightning to show up. By that timing, lightning should pop on the final boss, and you just do tons of damage at that point, which we'll see here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Time! And that is Silent Hill 1. We don't have an official time until the end, but, you know, for a marathon commentary, sub 1 hour is good. And I watched cutscenes. The out of bounds counted. Oh, my estimate would be about an hour anyway. Keep in mind, that wasn't good out of bounds. So, good run in general. I'm very proud of this. I'm happy I did it. I did gold. And it could have been better still. Keep in mind, I went for health, so. We'll see how that all went. Maybe it PBs, maybe it doesn't. Either way, it's a good run. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you. It is much appreciated. For those of you guys who were watching while that was happening and I was talking, allow me to fully explain. I was trying to do a marathon. Thank you for the follow. I was trying to do a marathon commentary because I want to get this ready for marathon season. I don't know if I'll submit it, but I want as many games as possible just in case. Maybe for any marathon, GDQ, ESA. Well, probably not ESA because Punchy would go to that, but any marathon I can get into, really. But we'll see. Anyway, you can enjoy the final cutscene, and our official time shows up on the final time card. Juo, thank you for the sub.
I am late rainbows.
Thank God I have the censor, because Juo almost ruined the entire thing. I'm a smart man. But yeah, I think it would go well. Also, in a moment here, I'll ask you guys your thoughts, but I do just want to say, maybe you're watching this in a VOD, maybe it's there. I'm Ecdycis. I do a lot of horror games and horror-adjacent games. Very big fan of everything, and this is a good time for me. So I hope you enjoyed the marathon commentary. I got about a 35.5. Given the way the Out of Bounds went, I'm not going to complain too much. It could have been much better. Honestly, outside that Out of Bounds, it probably would have been a PB. I think if I got it first try, it very well may have been perfect. I did mess up some earlier sections, but it could have easily been made up given my run. Overall, not too shabby, though. For a marathon time, I mean, I would take that. I'm not, like, again, there's a lot of great runners in this game. I'm pretty good at it, but thank you for watching.